Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital YouTube channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Chase told Brooke Lynn in the Port Charles police station lobby that he was determined to find out what Jason knew about Dante's shooting. When Jagger appeared, Chase brought him inside the interrogation room. Jagger looked forward at Jason as the door closed. "What the hell are you doing here?" Jagger inquired harshly. Jason remembered sabotaging the assassination attempt on Sonny's life the night Dante was shot. Jason observed that Hamish, the sniper, had shot Dante. Jagger inquired about Hamish's subsequent actions. Jason remembered that he and Hamish had exchanged shots after Hamish discovered Jason near Dante. Jason suspected that an extraction team he and Hamish had been working with had removed Hamish's body. Jagger noticed that Jason had given Dante first aid and called 911 after he had been shot. Jason confesses to calling 911 and leaving the phone near Dante so that operators could locate his location. Jagger inquired as to where Jason had gone after he and Hamish exchanged firearms. Jagger speculated that Jason had gone to Carly's mansion after leaving the waterfront district. "Jason, you committed to fully cooperate." "This isn't cooperating," Jagger explained. Jagger demanded to know who had taken care of Jason after he was shot. Jagger underlined that, because Hamish had fled, Jason would face capital murder charges for shooting a police officer and life in jail if Dante died. Jason mentioned that Dante was still alive and could recover. Jagger folded his hands and stared at Jason. "You had better hope he does. We have spent 2.5 years on this inquiry. We placed you within that organization, and your cover is now blown. So, if we don't hear back after all of this time, effort, and intelligence, the Bureau will be forced to proceed with the evidence that prompted your cooperation in the first place. And we both know you don't want that," Jagger remarked, taking his coat and departing. Jason sat alone with his thoughts later. At Bobby's diner, Jocelyn hoped to speak with Trina. Trina stated that she did not have anything to talk about. Trina tried to be courteous when she claimed she didn't feel ready to hang out with Jocelyn, who ignored her request and attempted to compare her breakup with Dex to Trina's sadness over Spencer's death. Trina stated that she and Jocelyn wanted space. Trina then acknowledged she was upset about Jason. "Hasn't it occurred to you that he could have been the one who shot my father?" Trina asked Jocelyn. Jocelyn was dismissive, stating unequivocally that Jason couldn't have shot Curtis. Jocelyn stated that she was just relieved Jason was still alive. "Yeah, lucky him," Trina replied unenthusiastically. When Michael entered, Trina went to see Stella. Michael then informed Jocelyn that Jason had handed himself in to the police. Michael and Jocelyn defended Jason before Michael went to see Willow. Stella met Trina outside the diner before to their scheduled meal. Stella soon saw Trina was depressed. Trina stated that she did not feel like being with anyone. Stella grasped Trina's hand and explained that dealing with loss, grief, and sadness were all universal emotions. Stella said that Trina's pain would reduce in the next months and years. "That's it, Aunt Stella. I barely know how I'm feeling from one minute to the next. I feel largely numb. Every now and then, I will experience pain or fury. But for the most part, I'm simply trudging through a fog. And I don't really taste what I'm eating. And I don't really care about anything anymore. And I'm just kind of going through the motions," Trina confessed. Stella sympathized, reasoning that Trina was still in shock. Trina wondered if there was a path forward. "Because I sure can't see it," Trina explained. Stella explained that she had invited Trina to lunch so that she would know she did not have to suffer in quiet. Trina stated that she could not think a way to get over Spencer. "What if I don't want to be okay? What if I never get over it?" Trina asked. Trina said that she did not want to let go of Spencer. "I do not want to get over him, Aunt Stella." Trina whispered, "I loved him so much, and now he's gone." Stella placed her arms around her. Stella stated that what Trina and Spencer had shared was unique, and that she did not believe Spencer would want his legacy veiled in pain. "But what if he was the love of my life?" Trina inquired. Stella stated that Trina had her entire life ahead of her, and she urged Trina to concentrate on the present. Trina remarked she wasn't sure if she could follow Stella's advice. When I'm not numb, I get irritated, and I stuff it down because I despise Esme. And I am so angry, Aunt Stella. It scares me. I don't care if she's dead. It's as if she got away with it, blowing apart our lives. And it's not fair, Trina said. Stella concurred, adding that Trina's rage would subside in time. Stella observed that Spencer had not even received a decent funeral. Trina agreed, recalling that Spencer had just received a memorial ceremony, which she did not consider adequate. Well, perhaps it wasn't enough. Perhaps you should make your own. Something special for you and Spencer, Stella advised Trina. Stella returned to the diner and invited Jocelyn to join her while she sipped coffee. Jocelyn admitted that she was unsure how to be Trina's friend. Stella stated that Jocelyn would need to give Trina time to absorb her sadness about losing Spencer. Jocelyn compared Oscar's death to Spencer's before Stella spoke. Our Trina is a strong young woman. She'll find her way home, Stella assured Jocelyn. Trina gently approached Spencer's headstone and glanced down. Hello, Spencer's grave. I apologize. I can't call you Spencer since he's not here. You're just a stand-in, a tangible marker of the incredible life force known as Spencer Cassadine, Trina replied, wiping away tears. Trina paused and sat on the ground close to the Spencer marker. No offense, but you are at a severe disadvantage, because there's no way you could capture what Spencer was. But you are all I have, so, hello, Spencer. I believe Laura chose this location since it is close to the water. That seems fitting, doesn't it? She knew you enjoyed the water. The last time I saw you, you were near the water, Trina replied, struggling to hold back more tears. You know, I keep thinking that. I'd get a call that you'd made it ashore somewhere, that this was all a bad dream, and that you were well. I know it's not good for me to fantasize about things that will never happen, but I enjoy being near the sea since it is tranquil and makes me feel close to you. God, even when it rains, I feel like you're nearby. It's as if you're in the atmosphere, or that you're everything. But I feel like I've disappeared, Trina murmured, lowering her head and resting her palm on Spencer's headstone. Trina smiled softly as she imagined herself and Spencer living in Paris. So, we're in Paris, and I go to class in the morning, and you pick me up at the end of the day. And my peers want to know who my mysterious and stunningly attractive boyfriend is. I heard he was a prince, but I keep it cool. And we spend our leisure time going to museums, debating who is better, Monet or Degas. It's Monet. Then we go to galleries, bookstores and bistros where we rate the coq or vin. And we just walked around the streets of Paris, hand in hand. That's my fantasy, Trina replied, hesitating. Trina became solemn as she spoke about her situation. My reality. I am back in Port Charles. I'm not at school. I live at home and work at the gallery. And nowadays, even art hurts. But I do it to pass the time so I don't miss you too much. Because I do not want to say goodbye to you. How can I say goodbye to you when you are simultaneously nowhere and everywhere? But I have to try. Because if I don't, I'll sink as well, Trina whispered, tears welling up in her eyes once more. At the hospital, Elizabeth informed Willow that she had only gotten 2 hours of sleep the night before due to the missing medicine and Heather's prognosis. Elizabeth admitted to being on edge. I just wish I knew anything about Jason, she said. As Elizabeth and Willow walked together, Elizabeth mentioned that her family was concerned about Jason's probable involvement in Dante's shooting. Elizabeth stated that she and Jake were both nervous, and she needed answers regarding Jason. Willow kept quiet regarding Jason's whereabouts and Jason's denial that he had shot Dante. Chase and Brooke Lynn got out of the elevator and spoke about Jason loudly enough for Elizabeth and Willow to overhear. Elizabeth overheard Chase and Brooke Lynn mention that Jason had handed himself in to the authorities. Elizabeth told Willow that she didn't know how to digest Jason's arrest. I'm not sure what to think. Is this a decent thing that Jason did? Is this a strategic move? And how is Jake expected to handle this? He's terrified that his father is guilty, and I've been pushing him to have an open mind about it. Maybe this was a mistake, or it happened for a legitimate reason, Elizabeth mused. Elizabeth went on to say that she wanted to believe Jason was innocent and asked Willow what she thought. Willow observed that Elizabeth had known Jason much longer than Willow had. Willow stated merely that she did not believe Jason had shot Dante. Elizabeth explained that she needed to go home to speak with Jake and Aidan about Jason's incarceration. Back at the nurse's station, Brooke Lynn informed Chase that she knew he wanted payback for Dante's shooting. Chase stated that he did not want his anger to jeopardize the investigation into the shooting. Brooke Lynn reassured Chase that he will seek justice for Dante. Before heading to Dante's room, Brooke Lynn and Chase expressed their gratitude for one another's company. Later, Michael discovered Willow at the nurse's station. Michael revealed that Jason had handed himself in to the police. Willow was concerned that Jason would give up her and Michael to the cops. Michael claimed that Jason would rather go to prison. Willow explained that Elizabeth had overheard Chase and Brooke Lynn discussing Jason's incarceration. Willow stated that she wished she could tell Elizabeth that Jason had not shot Dante. Michael explained that he and Willow had to keep silent about Jason. Aidan attempted to distract Jake at Elizabeth's residence, who was depressed about Jason's arrest. Elizabeth arrived just in time to hear Jake refer to Jason as his psycho dad. Elizabeth joined Jake and Aidan in the living room to have a family talk. Jake wondered why Jason had been hidden. When Elizabeth mentioned that Jason had his reasons, Jake responded that Jason was a murderer and that everyone knew it. "I hope he gets life in prison so we can just go back to thinking he was dead," Jake shouted in a fit of rage. Jake stepped up, and Elizabeth requested him to wait. Elizabeth apologized sincerely to Jake for everything their family was going through as a result of Jason's arrest. Aidan speculated that there could be a variety of reasons for Jason's return to Port Charles, as well as why he had been gone for so long. Aidan put his arm around Elizabeth and attempted to reassure her that everything would be fine. Jake shook his head in regret, then apologized to Elizabeth for what he had said about Jason. Jake explained that he had not meant what he said. Elizabeth smiled warmly at Jake and said everything was fine. "You and I both deserve to be furious since this is difficult. I'm simply pleased I have one of guys with me. Maybe we can help each other get through it. Come here," Elizabeth whispered quietly, reaching for Jake and Aidan's hands. Jake joined Elizabeth and Aidan for a big family hug. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.